Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Mouseketeer known as Stevie, and beside me is my co-host, the all-knowing crown jewel of Disney fandom, Cameron. We are just two fathers raised on the mouse, here to give you tips, tricks, news, and overall entertainment for all things Disney. So turn the volume up in your pumpkin carriage, or maybe you're using a magic mirror. Either way, we invite you to be our guest for an episode of Dadventures Around the Kingdom. Hey everybody, welcome to Dadventures Around the Kingdom. I'm Stevie and this is my co-host Cam, and we are here to share with you our Disney knowledge, our tips, our tricks, the news, all the fun stuff that there is about Disney while entertaining you guys along the way. So Cam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Stevie. I'm super pumped we're doing this. We've been talking Disney for a long, long time since we've known each other, basically. And it's fun to be able to record these episodes now and talk about all things Disney, the parks, the movies, shows, music, everything about it kind of thing. I think our connection with Disney really started first and foremost with the parks, but it's definitely expanded into more different things like the music and the movies, kind of like I mentioned too. So excited to just talk Disney in general with you and have it recorded, and hopefully people love this.
I agree. I mean, once you start talking Disney, it never ends. So I think we should let the people know a little bit about who we are. So let's start with the first question. Why did we start a podcast?
It was all you, buddy. You're the one that texted me like we should just do this. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. And then that like 5 seconds later, I was like, no, actually, that's dumb. We're not going to see. Yes, we're just going to do this. I hosted a podcast years ago that used to be called Streaming with the Mouse, where me and my co-host at the time would talk about the new shows coming out on Disney Plus. We do episode recaps, and that's just a lot to do. I like that when we kind of talked about it, whereas this can be more generic kind of topics, and you didn't have to be beholden to watching specific episodes of different things each week or needing to follow news every single second of the day kind of thing. But
Yeah.
it's just cool to be able to talk about it Disney with another person. And specifically, our idea came from, hey, we're both dads too. We're raising the next generation of Mouseketeers. So let's talk about our adventures, our dad ventures around the kingdom. So around all things Disney. So that's where it really came from, was with you. And I'm pumped that you asked me because God knows I loved doing the podcast back in the day, but I had none of the tech skills. So that's all you, buddy. So thanks for that.
Well, I know for myself, the reason why I wanted to do a pod is because every time we would meet up, play dates, birthday parties, etc., we're always talking Disney.
100%.
We're always talking about whatever the new show is, whatever the new movie that's coming out. When are we going to meet up to go see it? And so I figured people love talking about Disney. People love hearing about Disney. So, yeah, there might be other podcasts out there that talk about Disney, but when you've been bit by the Disney bug, you have to share it. It is
Yeah.
for the people, it is for everybody. And so I figured, Cam, we got to get together. You know so much about Disney. You have so many experiences of Disney World and just Disney as a whole. I've grown up watching Disney since I was 3 years old. And so I definitely wanted to share that with as many people as possible. And hopefully the fans love what they hear. So,
And that's a great point, Stevie. You're bringing up the fact that you start watching these Disney movies, films, whatever, since you were 3. And that's huge because that's everyone's story, right? Like Disney is in most places, this is where people's pop culture like fandom comes from in the early stages
agreed.
of childhood. It might be Barney, it might be Arthur, whatever too, but let's call space spade. It's Disney. Whether you're growing up in the 90s like us watching Goofy movie, Lion King, or if you're a kid growing up now in the 2020s like our daughters are, where they're watching a little bit older movies like Frozen or Tangled, but then all of a sudden you're getting new movies like Wish. We're getting a new Toy Story next year, Frozen 3 in a couple years. Disney is the first introductory gateway drug into pop culture fandoms kind of thing. And for some people, yeah, they get older and they're like, no, I'm out of this. But the beauty of Disney is it's a family thing. It's not for kids, it's not for adults, it's for family. So it's for everyone. So if you really want to live in that magical sphere of Disney, you can, because it's made for families. There's things that I enjoyed as a kid that to this day I still
100%
enjoyed as
agree.
an adult. And I don't think it's kiddish. It's just like, oh no, this is also made for me too as a 30 something year old. So I think that's perfect.
Yeah. I agree, and I think that brings us to our next question that people are gonna want to hear because it means so much to everybody. But Cam, what does Disney mean to you?
It's everything. It's magic, it's escapism, but for me, Disney, like in Lilo and Stitch, Ohana means family. To me, Disney means family. Everything I think about my family revolves Disney. We were a Disney family growing up. I went to my first Disney theme park, which was Walt Disney World, when I was 5 years old in the year 2000. And
Wow.
literally, besides 2 calendar years, which was COVID and 2021, actually 3 calendar years, 2020, no, 2001 because we went to Portugal, 2020 because of the COVID pandemic, and then 2023, the year my daughter was born. Those are the only 3 calendar years since 2000 I have not been to a Disney theme park. We would go multiple times a year, usually. So I've been probably over. I think this last trip in March was 33, and in July I'm
Wow.
going back again for trip 34. And that love for Disney theme parks came from watching the movies as a kid. I have like very vivid memories of me being like 3 years old watching The Lion King and watching Toy Story. And as I got a little bit older, until the ages 5 and 6, fighting with my sister over the TV of I want to watch Toy Story. No, my sister wants to watch Little Mermaid. So battling back and forth. But for me, everything about Disney screams family, right? So I have all these vivid
I
memories
agree.
of watching the movies, watching the shows with my family. I remember my dad bringing us to see the new movies as they came out. Like I have vivid memories of going to the theater to see Incredibles. I have vivid memories of going to the drive-in to see Lilo and Stitch for the first time and falling in love with that movie. And then through the parks too, like people make fun of the Disney adults that are going through theme parks. Those people are they're dumb. I'm gonna say that word because this is a kid-friendly podcast. Because for me, like I'm 30. I know the guy in the Mickey Mouse costume is a person in there. I know it's not actually Mickey Mouse. But when you go to a Disney park, you can have that escapism, and the movies and the shows can also have that escapism too. And some of my favorite memories in my life come from Disney. They're Disney related. I proposed to my wife in Disney. The 3 times my daughter has gone, she's 2 now, and she's been 3 times already, have been the most magical moments of my life. For me too, like my sister passed away about 11 years ago when she was 17 from a heart condition that she'd been going through all her life. But my favorite memories of her are and I were in Disney World. I remember going to see Fantasmic with her in the first trip and her screaming, Minnie, 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 when the boat popped up. So it's really important for me that every time I go to Disney, sometimes I get sad thinking about my sister Marissa, but then I'm also like, oh, think about these awesome memories. And I'm sharing those with my daughter too. Um, and it's just really fun. Like I said, I got engaged there. I proposed there. My honeymoon was in Disney. My wife and I are annual pass holders. So we're just a big Disney family. And now I'm doing that as my side hustle too, where now I'm a Disney travel agent. That's a whole nother ball game too, where I love planning Disney trips. So now I'm planning them for
Yeah.
other people too, which is really cool. Um, but that's a long way of saying is like, what does Disney mean to me? It's love, it's family, it's those memories, it's the nostalgia that I will hold on to forever and ever and ever. What about
Yeah,
you,
I mean,
Stevie?
I agree with you 100%. For me, unfortunately, I have not been to Disney parks as much as you have. So for me, Disney is a little more homegrown. Uh, but I would say Disney is a lifestyle.
Hmm.
It is, it, I was, I remember sitting with my parents as a little kid, and we used to have this giant cabinet full of VHS tapes,
Hmm.
and most
Those
of them
big
were Disney.
clamshell ones.
Oh, yeah, he
Yeah.
opened up, it was huge, but we had all the Disney cassettes, and I remember sitting in front of my dad's old school television. He had a 60-inch TV, one of those ones that was, like, 3 feet thick, and I would sit in front of that and just watch Disney movies
Hmm.
nonstop all the time, and as I've told you before, my dad was a professional drummer, still is drumming to this day. And so the music of Disney is always what got me. The songs,
Sure.
the melodies, w- watching something like Beauty and the Beast and hearing Angela Lansbury sing Beauty and the Beast, I don't think I blinked once. I was
Hmm.
absolutely mesmerized by that. And then moving forward, I would even go as far as saying Disney has molded me into the person that I am today. I mean, every kid goes through that stage where you're kind of like unsure of yourselves and like insecure a little bit. And just like those kids, I had that same moment. But watching some of these Disney movies, I remember watching Hercules and realizing, you know, I can believe in myself even if
Mhm.
others don't believe in me.
Yeah.
And then I would even go as far as The Lion King. I loved Timon and Pumbaa.
Mhm.
Anyone that knows me knows that I am a very relaxed person. Hakuna Matata might as well be tattooed on my heart.
You literally live
I
Hakuna Matata. I don't know how you don't actually have that tattooed on your body yet. Like, legitimately, I wish I
I
was
am a
you
very
with
relaxed
that kind of
person.
thing.
And so, yeah, like I'm just a very relaxed person. So it's more than a song to me. That is just how my life is.
Mhm.
And then I would go even farther as saying like watching movies like A Bug's Life and learning from that, it's okay to not go with the crowd.
Mhm.
You have a completely different way of thinking, and others might think it's kind of strange, but if you believe in yourself and what you think, then that's fine. And I learned all of that from Disney movies.
Mhm.
So I remember graduating college, and my wife and I, we went to Disney World together for the first time, and it was so different from going with like my parents and everything. And I remember just being in this place of all the movies that I grew up with. It was
Mhm.
just kind of like overwhelming of like joy. And I think one of the great things about Disney is no matter when you go, if you go to Disney World, you watch these movies, any age, you feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
But the movies are always going to affect you
Mhm.
differently, which I think is just amazing. And then even now, last year, when we took our girls to Disney World, I remember I had family members telling me, well, she can't really walk yet. Is she going to enjoy it? And I think I would put this down as probably my favorite memory as a parent so far
I agree.
is when we walked into that room at Hollywood Studios and the girls saw Olaf,
Yep.
Mickey, and Minnie for the first time and their eyes just lit up.
I could cry right now. Like, it was
That
beautiful.
that was amazing. My
Mhm.
daughter to this day, she knows who Mickey is.
Mhm.
She knows who Minnie is. She knows who Goofy is, and she will say it anytime that they're on the Disney Channel. She
Yep.
points them out. You have to pay attention to them, and I love that for her because I didn't know who Mickey Mouse was until I was probably about 8,
Mhm.
and that was because I watched the Disney movies. I had never been to the parks.
Mhm.
And so it wasn't until like later on, but I still believe, yeah, Disney is a lifestyle. Once you have felt a part of Disney, you don't want to just consistently go back. You want to share it with others. You want
Mhm.
others to be able to feel that joy that comes with being a part of the Disney movies, watching the Disney movies, feeling the Disney movies. And so even now, I don't think a day has gone by since my daughter was born that we have not watched at least 5 episodes of Bluey.
Mhm.
Disney is on in this house 24/7,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's ever gonna change, and that is just part of the lifestyle of what is Disney for me.
Yeah. And it's cool too because, like, I you know you're in good company when you're walking down the street and you just see somebody with like a Walt Disney World like t-shirt on, or like, I got excited
Oh,
this
yeah.
morning because I'm a Disney Vacation Club member. Me and my wife joined in 2019. My parents joined in 2002, and somebody had a DVC member magnet on the back of the car, and like, my people right there. I don't know who you are, but you're one of my people, kind of thing. You're a sicko like me, but it's not a sicko thing, right? And it's like with the parks and with the movies too. Like, you just get immersed in it and you suspend disbelief. Again, like I said, I know Aerosmith is not actually giving me backstage tickets right now on Rock and Roller Coaster. But if I can suspend disbelief, you forget everything out in the outside world for that moment and you can just live in this happy moment. And the same thing
Oh,
happens
yeah.
in movies too. Like, I remember like just being engrossed with watching Moana. Like, I loved that film. Like, I was so into that. And I was going through a tough time at the moment with like some anxiety stuff. And for that 2 hours I was watching that movie, those anxiety just, it was gone. I was all in. on Moana and Maui and their story and their journey, and and that's thanks to that Disney magic. And with Disney too, right? We're talking Disney, we're talking animated, we're talking theme parks. It's more than that, right? It's
Yeah,
the fact that they own Star Wars, which was a property I grew up with, just obsessed with. Same with Marvel too. I was a huge Spider-Man fan as a kid.
same.
So when Disney got the rights for Marvel and we got the MCU, um, kicking off, I remember when they got the rights from Sony for Spider-Man to at least put them in some of the Avengers movies, like Civil War. I lost my mind. And again, you can suspend disbelief in those movies, and the Disney bubble is basically a monopoly, but it's my favorite monopoly in the entire world, and I don't care. Like, give me all the stuff,
Nothing
give me
wrong
all
with
the
that.
Disney things. But like I said, I just love seeing my fellow Disney people out in the wild. I love that I'm raising my daughter just like you're raising your daughter to be another future Mouseketeer. It's just really special to me that I'm able to bond with my daughter because she loves Elsa and Anna. This tonight she got so upset because her Elsa nightgown was in the wash, and I explained like, "I'm so sorry. I will wash this. I'm apologizing to my 2-year-old. I'm so sorry. I know you love Elsa. I'll get this nightgown. You'll have it tomorrow night. I promise you. You'll be good, kid." Um, but it's so much fun. She literally goes to bed with a Mickey and Minnie stuffed animal every single night.
Nothing wrong
And
with that.
it's really just really cool. And like you said, Stevie, that first trip we went on with our girls, we went on it together as with our families, and it was the best moment ever until the next trip and the next trip. So she's gone 3 times now. You're just building more memories because the older they get, they're picking up on more stuff. Like you said too, people
Yeah,
are like, she's not gonna remember it. My daughter remembers some stuff, and I don't care if she remembers everything or not. She was what 14 months when we went. I don't care. Her childhood is my parenthood. I will never forget her pointing at the castle on our first trip, and she couldn't say Mickey or Minnie yet, but she was saying "Mama, Mama" because she hears the M sounds for Mickey, Minnie, so she
yep.
knew that, and she would call Donald and Daisy da 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 because Donald Duck, Daisy Duck, da 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 da. Um, and I just lost it in front of the castle. I think your wife, Stevie, had to like, give me a tissue because I was just bawling my eyes out. That I was like, "Oh my god, we're here. We're in my
Oh,
favorite place in the whole world, and my
I
daughter is
feel
here,
you.
and she knows what's happening. Like this is crazy. This is so cool."
I feel you 100%. I remember we went to that character meet and greet. We
Mhm,
had the character dining at Crystal Palace.
mhm,
My daughter had no idea who Winnie the Pooh is.
mhm.
But once we left, she could not stop saying Pooh.
Yeah,
Loves Winnie the Pooh. And we had never read any Winnie the Pooh books with her or anything like that. But it's just meeting these characters changed everything for her. And it's never, to any parents listening, anyone that's expecting, it's never too early
mhm,
to introduce someone to Disney.
yeah,
It's also never too late to introduce someone to Disney. They will thank
yeah.
you.
And like you said, Stevie, like that's why I became a travel agent, right? And I just do I could do travel agents for anything. I could get somebody an all inclusive trip in Jamaica. I don't do that because for me, I love introducing people to Disney World. I love bringing people for the first time, or I love going with people for the first time. I know you and your wife had been before, but getting to go with you guys was so cool because it was the first time I was going with Stevie. Like that was awesome, and our girls. So I love being able to help plan that for other people who are going for the first time or the 20th time kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's the introduction to like this is going to be awesome. And some people, Disney World, Disney stuff is not their things, and that's fine too. But for the majority of people, like you at least grew up on a bit of Disney, and if you can keep that magic like we have, that's something really special, I think, and it's cool to be able to pass that on as dads to 2 little girls is just really really special.
I agree. I agree 100%.
So, Stevie, we're gonna keep this episode a little bit short because it's our intro episode. Starting with next week's episode, we'll do more in-depth topics. So we'll have a topic idea kind of thing. But just so people can get to know you a little bit more about your love for Disney, we just got some rapid fire questions that you're gonna answer, and then I'll answer after you. Okay?
No
So
problem. Sounds good.
as quickly as you can. For favorite Disney park,
Epcot.
favorite Disney ride,
Escape from Everest.
ooh, Everest. Okay. Favorite Disney animated movie. I know this answer.
Oh, the Goofy movie.
Yeah, okay, great. If I didn't know that, we would just end the podcast now, and I just wouldn't talk to you again. Favorite Disney show. And remember, all this stuff can be anything. Like Star Wars, Marvel, that's in the Disney umbrella. So anything Disney umbrella wise.
My favorite Disney show, which I can only watch now on Disney Plus, Darkwing Duck.
Love that. Good answer. Favorite Disney snack.
Ooh, favorite Disney snack. I'm gonna go with the brioche ice cream sandwich from the Epcot
France
France
Brazil.
Pavilion.
Love that.
Oh, love that.
And last but not least for you, favorite character.
Favorite character of all time comes from my favorite movie of all time, the Goofy movie.
Love that.
It is Power Lines.
That's great. All right, my turn. Favorite Disney park, Hollywood Studios. Favorite Disney ride, Cosmic Rewind. My favorite Disney animated movie changes every day, but right now it is probably Lilo and Stitch. It definitely is Lilo and Stitch. Favorite Disney show, I'm gonna take a little bit of a curveball here. Uh, for me, WandaVision. If we're gonna go on the
Mm,
Disney umbrella, I love that show so much. It's so good.
great show.
Favorite Disney snack is a pineapple Dole Whip from Aloha Isle at Magic Kingdom. However, specifically with the pineapple vanilla twist on the float. So good.
Ooh, okay.
Favorite Disney character, I can't pick one. I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you an OG, which is Donald Duck. Love my boy Donald. I know I didn't give you that option. You can take two. I don't care. And then like, but also I'm a huge Olaf fan. I love that little snowman so much. Bonus. I mean, I don't care. It's my podcast. It's our podcast. I can do whatever I want. Donald, Olaf,
Yeah,
Stitch, top three right there. Love that.
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You can't go wrong with good Disney characters.
But yeah. And so Stevie, that's it. Episode 1, like I said, short and sweet,
Yep.
but just a way for us to get this first episode out. And starting next week, we'll have more topic ideas. And like I said, or like we said, this can be Disney parks related. It's gonna be movies related, shows, everything. So you're gonna get a whole smorgasbord. That's a word.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called Dadventures Around the Kingdom, because we're two dads and we're gonna be talking about everything Disney. Whatever we feel like. We'll be doing. I'm sure we're gonna do a Fantastic Four movie review once July comes. Because if we don't, what's the whole point of
Yeah.
this? So it's gonna be super fun. I'm really excited for this little journey we're taking. So yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Hope you guys come back for the next episode.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Dadventures Around the Kingdom. You can listen to the pod on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can also find us on our Instagram at Dadventures Around the Kingdom. If you have any ideas for future episode topics you'd like to hear, be sure to DM us on Instagram or email us at datkpod@gmail.com. Again, that's datkpod@gmail.com. If you want to follow our host Stevie on Instagram, you can do that at StevieJenko. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can also do that by following at Magical Vacays by Cam. That's my travel agency page. If you're interested in booking Walt Disney World or Disneyland vacation at no additional cost to you, feel free to DM me on there so we can definitely talk and I can get you a free, no obligation quote. Again, thanks for listening to Dadventures Around the Kingdom. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.